thank you for your patience. I'm Devendra, Group Editor for Industry 2.0 magazine and your host for this event. I thank you all for coming this evening, particularly to a hotel that's a bit out of the way. I apologize for the inconvenience. It gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you to IT for Smart Manufacturing, the third in a series of events around the nation. I extend my welcome to you on behalf of our technology partners, SAP and Wipro. The manufacturing industry is no stranger to using modern technology. Whether it is using new materials, creating innovative processes, or developing better products, the manufacturing community has always been receptive to new thinking. The recent economic turmoil has only reinforced the view that manufacturers need to continuously focus on ways to add value, improve performance, cut costs, and increase profitability. It is this trend that brings us to the theme of today's event, IT for Smart Manufacturing. So what do we mean by smart manufacturing? I would like to define smart manufacturing as a way to utilize and harmonize the efforts of people, processes and technologies to continuously optimize and improve performance and prevent problems. It's about orchestrating effective coordination and collaboration among people, business processes and technologies. How can we do this? It's through information that is correct, complete and current. So you need information. The new reality is we live in an information age. From the shop floor to the front office, we generate vast quantities of data. And effectively managing the volumes and the flows of this data is the key to better decision making and improving operations. So it is by connecting and integrating the entire organization and its external partners can the manufacturing organization prepare itself to compete in this new age. So our speakers today will look at the benefits of deploying enterprise IT applications to support decision making in this rapidly changing business environment and look at how IT is evolving to become a catalyst for process and product change. I would like to invite all the delegates here this evening to participate and interact with the speakers and with your peers in the room to make the most of this event. I would now like to invite Mr. C. Karthik from SAP to give his presentation on key trends in manufacturing. Mr. Karthik.
For coming. So today I'll just be taking 15 minutes of your time. I don't get into too much of technology, but just to give you a brief of how technology can enable you in the current trend. So usually when we used to talk about trends, we used to talk about a lot of technology trends and so on and so forth before. But today when we start talking about trend, the first thing that comes to our mind is the current economic situation. That's what even Mr. Giridhar started off with. So the current economic situation, when we say, primarily we are talking about two things, the extreme amount of volatility that exists today and the amount of uncertainty that exists in what is going to happen next. So when I say volatility, I think this is not something new that we are facing in the past 100 years. We have been through these situations before. But the point is the amount of, or the extent of volatility today is extremely high, according to, is what business analysts are saying today. And the other uncertainty in terms of what is going to happen next, which straight away affects in what business decisions you take. So that is one increasing pressure that the top management or the senior management is facing. What do I do next? And when I say volatility, the other thing comes to my mind. Let's look at some of the indices we have. Maybe for those of you who do not know, we have something called as PMI, which is Purchase Managers Index, which primarily is given out by the ISM, Institute of Supply Management. The PMI, ideal level of the PMI is something supposed to be between 50 and above. 50 and above is supposed to be very comfortable. And something between 42 and 50 actually hints a possible growth in the near future. But if you look at the very recent past that we have been, the December-January level, the PMI is at somewhere between 32 and 35, which according to most of the people is very alarming. It has a direct, it had made people to relook at the overall GDP. So looking at this scenario, what do we do? The first thing that, it is very easy to ask a question, what to do in this scenario? And the answer that comes out in the most simplest way is, we need to cut costs. No, the answer is very simple, but to arrive at this is a very, complex task by itself. So one of the major areas, where you can actually look at cutting costs People feel that cutting down on IT investment is the first reaction that people try to do when it comes to cutting cost. But we look at it the other way around. I will actually take you through on how we look at it, our perspective of how cost cutting can happen, how we will be able to help you in terms of increasing or maintaining your operating margin at a level which is higher than the industry average. So these are very few things that we have to look at a very basic level. So let me go step by step. So let me give you an example. When I said IT, you have to look at the past trend. This is one of the analysis that was done by Harvard Business School. So if you look at the companies which have been a bit of more towards IT, companies which have used IT extensively to support their business for quite some time. It starts from 1965 until 2005 if you look at. The companies of that kind are able to handle or outpass competition much better, and they have been able to handle this current volatile situation much better when compared to companies which are not on the platform. So when companies are not on that platform, actually how are these companies able to do that? Why do companies with high IT enablement are able to actually achieve this kind of a situation? So this is one of the statistics. 85% of the business problems that these IT enabled companies have we are able to solve that. But why are we doing that? How are we able to do that? Primarily because just look at a scenario where a company is not having an IT enablement currently. It may not be a complete IT enablement, it could be a basic level of IT enablement. So primarily all these problems come in, or the inability to handle volatility or unpredictability comes in when you have these gaps in between three layers. So let me not go by this alone. So first of all, for you to be able to handle a particular situation, I will categorize that into three levels. Number one, you are supposed to have deep insight on complete visibility to what is the current market trend, the current customer and the current business dynamics. Very high level terms. But you need to have complete visibility and actionable insights. I am talking about actionable insight and just not insight. So please note that. So number two, once I have these insights, I should be able to actually frame my strategies or actually design my strategies in line with actionable insights. These two cannot go as two separate entities. So strategies, yes, strategies is more of a human work. System can't frame strategies. So you take insights from the system enablement and then you create strategies. Great. Now we have strategies. What comes next? I should be able to actually execute these strategies. So how do I ensure that I am able to execute this hard work that I have put in strategies and actually monitor them? So I should be able to actually convert these insights into proper actions in order to support my strategies. That is number two. And number three, if you look at, I have started executing something, but it is more important for me to keep monitoring it continuously so that wherever there is a requirement for change, I should be able to deploy the change immediately. It is not that I only observe the change, I should be able to deploy the change immediately. So among these three, in case there is a disconnect between even one of them, or if there is one of the layers, if it does not exist in any of the companies, then that becomes a serious issue in a volatile situation. As long as the market is fine, things are happening fine, this may not surface up. So these kind of things have started surfacing, and this kind of research has taken place only because that we are facing this situation today. So now we have to look at two things. One, we have to survive in the current environment. And okay, so it takes time. So if you look at the current analysis, people say that till end of 2010 the trend is going to continue, and then we are going to start having improvements, which means starting to have improvements